Dan do the resolution.
Okay.
Hey, Dan, as soon as the letters get done speaking, and there's any other questions, would you go ahead and move the resolution?
Oh, sure, yep.
And I added 2 words to your resolution, and
Yep.
family. You see
Yep.
that?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's, yep,
Okay,
appendix
here we
A.
go. I brought Kleenex. This could be a tearjerker. Okay.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's meeting of Fairmont School Board. It is March 27, 2018. Please, or the roll call is all present except Danielle. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. So we're going to be working with the green agenda. There's one change under Personnel D, resignations. So I'll entertain a motion to accept the new agenda.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And,
Minutes.
okay. And has anybody reviewed the minutes from last time?
I have, and I would offer a motion to approve the minutes of the March 13th meeting as offered.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And to begin this evening, we have a celebration. We have John and Sheila Leonard. If you could come forward and just introduce yourselves.
Hello. As he said, we're Sheila and John Leonard. We live out real close to East Chain. And we're here to offer a machine. We're donating a machine to the high school. But I want to tell you first a little bit about Tyler, our son that was murdered. Tyler worked for the city of Fairmont, operating a dredge until they discontinued that program. And he wanted to broaden his horizons, so he moved to Minneapolis and got a job working for the city of Bloomington on the street department, which he loved. He liked big machinery and being outside, so that was a good job for him. On January 28th of 2016, approximately 10:30 in the morning, Tyler was him and his partner were cleaning off the sidewalks in Bloomington on, I can't remember the street, but anyway, American Boulevard, was the street they were cleaning, and it was getting close to lunchtime. So Tyler and his person that was driving the truck, I believe it was
It was a
What?
Ford 450, ton and a half, and he had just gotten in the pickup, didn't have time to put his seatbelt on.
John, right here. They were planning on going to dinner, so they said, where should we go for lunch today? And Tyler he got off the skid loader, he was doing the sidewalk, and he literally just stepped into the truck. Didn't have time to sit down or anything. And his truck was hit. I'll tell you a little bit about the gal that hit him. She was 24. She had quite a history of mental issues. She was schizophrenic, among other things. She had been on medication for years. She had, actually we didn't find this out till later, but she had taken herself to the Hennepin County Medical Center the night prior to killing our son. She said that she was not feeling right. And she said that there were too many people there and she didn't want to wait, so she left. So that next day, the January 28th, she decided to take her life. She had previously worked in a Sam's Club store in the, I don't know if they have a separate alcohol section, but anyway, she went in there. She took 2 bottles of Grey Goose vodka, isn't Grey Goose, off the shelf. She threw some money in the air and she walked out the door. The detectives said that she took a few chugs of her alcohol and got in her car and she went down American Boulevard. She was avoiding other vehicles because she didn't want to hurt anybody. But she got down to American Boulevard where Tyler's truck was parked, and Darrell was the gentleman driving, so he was sitting in there. He had his seatbelt on and everything. And like I said, when Tyler stepped into the truck, she crashed into the back of his 1.5 ton truck, spun it around. What else was I gonna say? She, what?
Both seats are ripped off the floor, and they were both thrown into the back of this four-door pickup. So, and they clocked her on that little computer under the seat that she was doing right at close to 90 miles an hour down that street. So there was, and she survived. And
Well, her car started on fire. There was quite a bit of alcohol in the car, we understand. And her car started on fire. They got her out, and one of the first things she said was anybody in the truck? Did I hurt anybody? And I'd say, you hurt a lot of people. I would have said that to her if I was there. Yeah, they didn't know Tyler was even in the truck because of the position of the seat. So they got him to Hennepin County, a medical center. He was on life support.
for 3 days of it.
No, it was, well, we disconnected life support on the 30th because he was not showing any signs of improvement whatsoever. He had a very strong heart in several ways, a big heart and a strong heart. So we were told that there was absolutely no chance that he would survive. So we chose to disconnect his life support. And we did that on the 30th. I believe he died on the 28th, but legally, it was the 30th. Tyler was a donor, so we had to wait late in the afternoon, early evening actually, because they had to get a crew or a team to harvest his organs. So we've gotten letters from the eye bank that he did donate his eyes. We received, I think, 3 letters now of people that have received organs. So that's been very nice for him. And we miss him.
Yeah. So Tyler was a person that he came home every weekend. He came home every weekend, and it'd be many, many times. If it was 1 o'clock and he came in, that was unusual. He'd always stayed out in the shop. We got a pretty good sized shop. And he was out there till 2 in the morning, no problem.
I could look out my bedroom window and I'd sit on the bed and look out there and I could see that shop light. And I knew he was still out there working. I didn't like that, but.
He was always welding or taking things apart. He always made things better. So on the day that we had a little get-together down to KC Hall.
It was a farewell pizza party for
Yeah.
Tyler.
Just 2 weeks before he got hit by that gal, he had just got a brand-new city truck. And they said it was a $260,000 truck, all computerized. It's unbelievable. They drove that truck all the way down to Fairmont, took it to the city shop or the county shop, had it washed, and parked it in front of KC Hall so everybody could see it. So I thought that was real nice. And then there was 22 of his co-workers came down. And
Tell him about that shield that he put on the truck.
oh, he was the kind of guy that always tweaks something. He'd get something, take it all apart, and check it over and put it back together. The spinner on the back of the truck.
This
there's
is his snowplow truck.
Snowplow truck. There's a camera back there. It tells you what it's doing, if it's spreading like it should. Well, they didn't have a shield back there to protect the camera. So he made a stainless steel shield to keep the salt from flying on the camera, and his truck's the only one that had that. And I guess later on, everybody put it on. But other than that, he was always tinkering with something, and he always wanted something like this in our shop, and I said it just wasn't feasible. And I don't know if you guys noticed it, but it's going to be it's a iron worker. It shears, presses, and punches. It's a 45-ton that we're going to donate it to the school. And supposedly, it should be made by the 16th of May, so hopefully the kids in the school will be able to see how it works and enjoy it, what's left of that school year. And they're going to ship it down free of charge, and the guys can come down and show them how it works. So that was our donation. And we also donated a engine stand, because our boys were in auto mechanics when they were in school. So I got them an engine stand and an engine, and it's been in our shop and just taking up dust. So I blew it off and brought it to Bob's place on Monday, and so we got rid of, made more room in our shop. So
Tyler, I should have mentioned, Tyler is one of our 4 children. Casey was a year older. Tyler has an identical twin brother, Ryan, and then a sister, Rachel, a year younger than them.
anyway, we thought this would be a nice gift to the school and something that everybody could enjoy. And
And Tyler can spend every day with you in the shed.
yeah, thank you.
Bob, maybe you can share a little bit about how important this gift is to your program?
You bet. So it was interesting when I got the little blinking light on my phone, and I called back and talked with Sheila and John on speakerphone. And this is one of those things that in the back of my mind for years I've been saying, oh, if we could only get, they make smaller versions of it. If we could only get one of those someday. And of course, you know, wish lists are awesome. And so it's been in the back of my mind before. And actually, when they called and asked if I knew what an iron worker was, I was telling them, yes, I ran one years ago when I was punching some stuff when I worked over at AGCO. Back then it was Ag Chem. But so I was very kind of, you know, ecstatic on my end. I don't know if they could tell it or not, but I was kind of real anxious to hear more. And so as we got to talking, it was just kind of neat because some of the stuff just kind of started falling in place. I mean, it was, you know, they're talking to me about Tyler, and, you know, as I told them, I wish I would have had him in class. Some of his passions, he was into NASCAR and NHRA drag racing and stuff like that. And the day they came to the shop, they saw my drag truck that was sitting out to the school, and the opportunity that our students are getting that, you know, was really neat to share with them. And then we went over and looked at the weld shop and showed them right where it's going to be and where it was going to sit and things like that. And they got a chance to see where we're at in our school. So this tool is going to actually help our welding program, and then we've kind of started easing into the manufacturing base as well. In the last year, we've picked up 2 pieces of equipment, a lathe and a end mill, which will go real nice with this as our students kind of start exploring into a little bit deeper areas, kind of that other side of, you know, we've been doing welding, and now we're kind of trying to ease into manufacturing and offer some more manufacturing. And this machine is going to just blend right in with the 2 pieces of equipment we already got. So I was just, you know, it's like the good Lord shined on Fairmont High School again through their tragedy. Our students are going to benefit. And again, they'll tell you that the boys did great at our school. We did a little searching to find out a little bit more about. It was prior to Skyward, so we had to do some digging. But Scott Gertis started, you know, getting information, and we found out the boys took a lot of our vocational classes, carpentry, the auto and stuff like that. So I mean, it was just really cool. And then when John and Sheila came in that day, it was just meant to be. I mean, we just had a great time visiting, and you know, just, you know, the way things hooked up. I mean, it's just another great day to be here in Fairmont. I mean, it's just awesome. We have community members that do this kind of stuff. And we're really going to honor Tyler very well. Do you want to come down, Joe? Or?
No, go ahead. You get the plan.
So we had a sign made up that's very similar to the ones we had made for our welding booths. And this is going to hang on Tyler's machine. We're going to call it Tyler's machine. And it happens to be almost identical, or directly below one of our security lights that's on in the weld shop. And so Tyler's going to have that light shining like Mom saw all those years on his picture. So, you know, I mean, it's just really awesome. And, you know, I can't say enough about the generous donation that they have and how it's going to benefit kids for many years. The one that I ran was probably one of the very first ones built, probably back in the, you know, the early mid 50s, 60s, when these things first started coming out and becoming very popular. Iron Workers is the type of machine, and there's many manufacturers that build them, but they're a very durable machine. They punch, they bend, they break metals. So it's going to be great. Like I said, I can't thank these two enough, and you know, just the conversations we've had has just been a great relationship that we've already forged, and look forward to hearing from these two for a long time yet.
So, comments from the board?
Well, John and Sheila, our hearts go out to you. God's blessings to you, but what a wonderful way to remember Tyler. And even in death, he gave as a donor, and kids forever are going to know Tyler's name. So, God's blessings to you. Thank you.
Tyler must have been a remarkable young man,
You know what, he really, really is.
and this is a wonderful legacy.
It's a way for him to live on through our students. And as they develop and learn how to use this magnificent tool, how wonderful for them to learn and share that from your sharing of the gift that you gave our district. It's just wonderful. Sympathies and our blessings to you. I don't know any much more what I can say, but thank you so much for your graciousness.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to get a photo taken. Mr. Trado, do you want to join them?
You want us right up here again, Judy?
Yeah, go in front. Judy will direct you there.
You know, and this is also thank you for all of the memorials and monetary gifts that people gave in Tyler's name. We've just been trying to hang on until decide, you know, where we can put that best.
Thank you.
We'll step right up here. Picture taken.
Yeah.
What-
The city of Bloomington also planted a tree at the corner of where Tyler was killed. And they made a plaque for it. And when they installed it, so John and I went up and they had a little ceremony, and we put our handprints in the concrete by the plaque, and someone or some people, they decorate that tree for different occasions, which is really kind of nice. And they send us pictures, and we say, who did that? And we don't know. Easter and Christmas, they change the decorations on that tree.
Neat.
Yeah.
But all the employees that he worked with and the crew, they just said he was an unusual person. You always wanted to make a deal of what you got to trade. You know? Yeah, so they said they learned a lot from him, and they were a very close-knit group of guys.
Wonderful memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was real private about his locker at work. He had his locker, and when he was gonna get into it for something, he'd always stand so no one could see what was in his locker. So it was, when they broke the lock off, it was a ceremony. To see what was in his locker. Yeah. Well, thanks.
Something I might add, when this accident happened, he owned he was making payments on his house, but there was so much, what do you say, Sheila,
We,
passwords.
yeah, and security and stuff, okay? So
Yes.
the house, I guess, became ours. Well, I could not even find out when the house payment was due. They wouldn't even talk to me. I said, well, you're never gonna find out because that's the way it is. So I tell everybody, if you have children, whether they're adults, whether they're, no matter how old they are, get their passwords. They don't have to give them to you, but let them know, and let them know where you can find your passwords.
Good point.
It's amazing,
It was a headache.
especially now with people doing so much online,
Yeah.
paying their bills.
He did everything online.
Oh.
Everything he did online. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Thank you.
Do I have time for one more quick little story?
Please, please,
Yes.
Okay.
please.
He loved car races. Okay. He liked races, and he went to, let's see, our daughter lives in North Carolina, and there was races down there. So they were able to get a little vial of Tyler's ashes. They went down to the North Carolina, and Ryan went with them. They were supposed to put it in the machine, or put it in the,
It was a drag race.
in the parachute that comes out the back end.
Yeah.
So his ashes were gonna be down at the race. Well, they were all ready to go. The race got rained out.
Oh,
But the cool part was, our daughter Rachel said, well, Tyler thinks he's pretty hot stuff getting to spend all night in that car by himself in the garage down there at the races. So that was kind of cool. Okay,
Okay, thank you so much.
thank you so much.
sure.
Okay, Dan, we have a resolution.
Yeah, I on behalf of my fellow board members and the entire school, are delighted to introduce the following resolution and move for its adoption. Whereas John and Sheila Leonard and family have donated the following items in memory of their son Tyler. Tyler was a 1996 Fairmont High School graduate who enjoyed high school vocational classes and made a living as a skilled worker. The items: an engine stand donated at $300, and the model 4500 punch, brake, and shearer valued at $5,000. Be it resolved by the Fairmont Area School Board to gratefully accept this gift.
Second.
Okay, we'll take a roll call. Adele?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nicole?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you again. Yeah, one more resolution. We'll take care of that. Appendix B.
Let's see here.
Oh,
Pass it down.
Here, I'll try this one.
Didn't you?
Okay. Well, I'll be glad to introduce this resolution as well and move for its adoption. Whereas Project 1590 has donated $1,178 to the Fairmont High School FFA program. Be it resolved by Fairmont Area School Board to gratefully accept this gift.
second.
We'll take a roll call. Dell?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Nicole?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
And Dan?
Aye.
Okay, so we will move on. Superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. First of all, let's look at the pink calendar, just to highlight a couple of upcoming events. First of all, on Wednesday, April 11th, at 8:30 in the morning, we're having the Area Career Expo at the high school. And if anybody has a chance to get up there and see all the different industry and business folks that are being represented, it's really a neat day. Mr. Trado, about 600 students are coming from about 11 or 12 different high schools, and they're all coming to the Fairmont High School. And then on the following week, on Wednesday, April 18th, is Fairmont High School has been selected to be a host site for Construct Tomorrow, and that will also be held in the high school gymnasium. We also are inviting students from around the region. I know there's a busload of kids coming from Austin to this event. Construct Tomorrow is made up of the skilled workers that will actually be on site doing skilled labor. For example, showing people how to lay brick, just showing all the different trades that are available. And this is being produced by the trades organizations that are located throughout the trade unions in Minnesota. And then looking ahead also later on that day, on Wednesday, April 18th, from 3:30 to 5 in the William Budd Room at the elementary school is the school district retirement tea. And by that time, I know there's a number of folks that are turning in letters of retirement, and that group is growing. And so we'll have a list of those for our next school board meeting, I'm sure. And then looking at enrollment, actually up a couple of students at the high school. So we're now serving 1,674 students. Enrollment at the elementary stayed the same, 852, 822 at the high school. And we're pleased about that. And then also just want to mention, Mr. Trader and I were at the Capitol again yesterday. We went up there to testify in front of the Senate Education Finance Committee. This is the fourth time we've testified in favor of the proposal to try to generate state aid for classes that are taught outside of the school day, for example, the vocational classes that are taught either in the evening or on Saturdays or the summer. And very pleased that Senator Rosen, our local state senator, has signed on to that bill, and the chairwoman of the Senate Finance Committee signed on to the bill, and the Assistant Senate Majority Leader is the sponsor of that bill on the Senate side. We're pretty confident that something's going to pass, and we're not sure it's going to be in the exact form that it's in now, but we just think there's a lot of support by members of both parties and by both chambers, the House and the Senate. And so that's our fourth trip up to the Capitol, and I think it went pretty well yesterday, pretty positive, and we're teaching Mr. Trader all about politics. Okay. I think that's about it. We are still in the process. We have a number of faculty that are thinking about still retiring at the end of the year, and we'll have that list available for the Staff Welfare Committee in the next week or so. And we are in the process of advertising for a special ed teacher. We're advertising for a science teacher to take Mrs. Anderson's spot, and we do have a couple of applicants that came in the last few days. And we are advertising for a sixth grade social studies position, and there might be another position opening at the elementary. And did I mention special ed at the high school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think when the dust settles, the cabinet, we talked a few weeks ago, we thought there might just be 2 openings, and we think before the dust settles, there might be about 8. And so, but we're doing what we did last year. We're trying to recruit very early and get contracts signed and get folks committed to our district. And it's actually a very easy district to get people to commit to, because we have a lot of good things happening, so.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Yep.
Could I just comment for
Sure.
the work at the Capitol? Not everyone is comfortable with it, and those that are comfortable with it, of those, not everyone's successful. So we as a community, we're thankful that you're doing all of that work, and it should be recognized, and it is. It's appreciated, and everyone that's gone with you as well. It's super important in that arena. That's not everybody's cup of tea. So thanks for doing that. It's super important, and it's very, very much impacting our community in a positive way. So thank you.
Thank you, Dale.
Okay. Finances.
Yep.
Julie.
Yes, in your packet, you should have transfers and wires for March 9th to the 21st. There's just 3 on there for your knowledge. And then we have the check register, just a few I'd like to bring your attention to. First one is Chanhassen Dinner Theaters, check number 60946. These are tickets for the production Newsies. This is for 96 tickets plus 4 complimentary passes. The performance that the 9th to 12th grade choir will be attending on April 14th. And then Minnesota West, we have spring tuition, and that would be check number 6,963 for $54,000. This is tuition for 267 credits provided to 49 students within our district, so PSEO. And then Riverland Community College, check number 60973 No, that one isn't it. The one right below it, 60974. To Riverland Community College. This is for welding. The spring concurrent enrollment of one course, and that would be the College and Schools Welding Program. And one more, the Scholastic Book Fair. That would be in the front part, it'd be the Commerce Bank is what it would be. And the Scholastic Book Fair ran at the elementary school from March 5th to the 9th with lots of success. Sales were better than what they'd been in the last couple years. And profit from the sales in the amount of $3,688.05 will be used to purchase books for the media center and or the Scholastic News paper that they get. So, if there's any other questions,
Questions?
if not, then I would offer a motion to approve the wire transfers for March 9th, 2018 to March 21st, 2018, and payment of the March 13th, 2018 bills. That wouldn't be right. The March, whatever they are, today's bid date. Right? Yep, that would be it.
Okay. Only have a second? All those in favor? Motion passes. No old business or new business. Personnel, Julie?
Oh, it's me again, huh? There is, Cindy Johnson's requesting a medical leave effective April 18th, 2018 through the end of the school year, per medical recommendation. So I would like to make a motion to approve that medical leave as requested.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And employment?
Me again? Oh, my goodness. Principal Niss is recommending that Jeannie Garbers Walden be hired as a fax teacher for the 2018-19 school year. Jeannie is a 2004 graduate of the Fairmont High School. She holds a BS degree in Family Consumer Science Education from Minnesota State University, Mankato. And she also holds a master's degree in education from St. Mary's University. She has served as a fax teacher for 3 years at Century Junior High School in Forest Lake and has taught fax at the Albert Lee High School since 2011. So I would make a motion to approve the employment of Jeannie Garbers Walden as a fax teacher at a salary of MA Step 15 effective July 1st, 2018.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Julie?
Another recommendation. Principal Niss is recommending that Roxy Janke be hired as a long-term substitute English teacher, while Cindy, as we just approved that medical leave for Cindy Johnson, is on medical leave. So Roxy has taught English at Fairmont High School for many years prior to retirement in 2015. So then I would make a motion then to approve Roxy Janke as a long-term substitute English teacher at the hourly rate paid during her last year of teaching, effective April 18th throughout the end of the 2017-18 school year, or when the regular teacher returns.
Second.
And we have a second. And all those in favor?
Aye.
You're on a roll.
And again, okay, Amelia Peterson has tendered her letter of retirement effective May 31st, 2018. Mimi has served as a custodian in the district for 17 years, and thank her for her hard work. But with that, I will make a motion to approve the retirement of Amelia Peterson, custodian, effective May 31st, 2018.
Second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
One more.
Almost.
And then we have a resignation. Kyle Shanning, sixth grade teacher, has tendered his resignation effective June 4th, 2018. Kyle is completing a second year with the district. And so I would like to make the motion to approve the resignation of Kyle Shanning, an elementary teacher, effective June 4th, 2018.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Can you go on, Julie? Board meeting?
Oh, I guess
Board committees?
you guys tired of hearing from me now yet?
Lincoln School Tour?
Lincoln School Tour. Yes, we met at at the library. Heard presentation from teachers, from Sarah Middlestat, the director, and kind of just the background in the needs, the why we need to be looking at building and remodeling this Lincoln School. And after that presentation by the staff and everybody, we did go and tour the property. I'm not sure if everybody's had a chance to tour that yet. Joe, I know you were there. Dell, I know you were there. It's a little rough, but actually the building itself seems very sound. There is no heat in the building right now. There are some windows that are broken. There's been some vandalism, of course, which it just seems sometimes that we just can't help but have that. But it really is a very sound building. And so I was just very interested to see how well the building was. When Ceylon closed the school building, and how many years ago that was, it just seemed like, paint was peeling, and I know it was probably more years that it was closed on that old part of the building, but this has only been a year that it's been vacated, one winter and that. But really, the tiles are intact on the walls, and I'm just really amazed at really basically how well that building is preserved in that. So it's just very interesting to go through and see that. And I know there's stuff that's got to be cleaned, there's stuff that's got to be done, but it really, I feel really a good purchase. We're still negotiating on that price, and I think if we can get it for the reasonable price that we would like it for, I think it'd be a very good buy. It'd be wonderful to have a school district back into that part of the city again, rather than having an empty building in that area of Fairmont. And so we'll be looking into that, into what we're looking at. Last night we met at Southern Plains, and I'll kind of go into that as well. I know I'm supposed to speak again at the end, but we did meet last night for the Southern Plains Educational Co-op Board, and Gary Benson from Krause Anderson has been hired as the construction manager. And last night we did interview 3 construction companies, or not construction, architectural companies. And I'm sorry, I wasn't able to stay for the whole meeting. We got some questions on that, but there's 3 that we are pending with, and depending on if we can go forth with all the other stuff. But they all felt, I talked with Wendy Russenberger, a member from Martin County West this morning, because she brought me the packets because I had to leave from that team from that night. And I didn't get time. I was going to call Sarah today after work, and actually I walked into here from work, so I didn't get a chance to talk to her at all about it. But I really feel that there's going to be some good things that are going to come from this. The other things from Southern Plains, there were some other... We did discuss about some hiring. We did discuss some resignations. Again, we're always doing hiring in that. We did discuss the amended joint powers agreement that was approved by our board last night, the facilities joint powers agreement. That was approved as well. We did have lots of discussion on both those items as to financing, how that's going to go. We're going to see how it goes, and then we'll open that up again if we need to adjust those how the billing goes out. And then a resolution for the facilities. We reviewed the cooperative calendar for next year, and then, like I said, then it was a little bit later. 5:30 was the first company that was supposed to come and be interviewed. I think it was like 5:45 when they finally came, and then I had to leave by a little after 6:10, 6:15, so I didn't get to only hear but the one. But I'm just very interested in seeing what they're going to be able to put together for us. So there, I did both of them, so you can be done listening to me.
Thanks, Julie. And operations, Dan?
Okay, operations. We met a week ago Monday, and the main part of the meeting, Principal Trado compiled a list, and I believe it was through one of your publications, right, Andy, where you're able to ask questions of other administrators and districts, and Andy compiled a list of the responses that he got from, I believe it was about 45 or so different districts as far as what it takes to get in to the school. and different procedures. And it differs with every building, and you know, some of the newer buildings have, you know, basically three different steps that you have to get through before you're able to get into the building. So a couple of years ago, we'd had some discussion about this, and we'd had some preliminary drawings done and such, but we're in the process of looking at ways to improve our entryway at the junior senior high school. And we were looking through the different suggestions and some of the different ways that other school buildings in districts of different sizes do in Minnesota. So that's on our agenda here for the immediate future. And the second part of the meeting was about, well, we talked a little bit about, because Tyler Garrison, our Director of Building and Grounds, was there. We talked a little bit about projects.
Mr. Trado?
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
ACT testing day coming up on the 3rd of April at the high school. So there is one portion of the building that's going to be, the south wing of the high school is going to be cut off to students doing their regular day. It's going to be set aside strictly for all the students taking the ACT test that day. And some classrooms will be relocated, and we believe also there's some options for a few students, I think maybe the seniors it is, Joe, that could have a flex day on that day as well, just to kind of
9th and 12th?
9th and 12th.
Yep.
Yep. So that some of the high school kids will do other things that day, and then the junior high kids, some of their classrooms will be relocated so that the students taking the ACT can have a perfectly quiet environment and all the arrangements and such. It's quite a lot of choreography that you have to do to get that all to work with all the different personnel. So,
And I just want to add too, Dan, that there's a lot of legislation going through both at the federal level. When they passed the $1.3 trillion budget the other day, they did set aside money for school security. And at the state level, there's also some flexibility going through right now. The Senate Education Finance Committee that we learned at yesterday, that they're working on legislation to provide a pocket of money that school districts can use, whether it's for personnel, for example, school resource officers, or mental health practitioners, counselors, or facilities. And so we're going to be tracking that legislation. The legislatures in the state, well, first of all, the Congress has gone home now for a week for the Easter break, but at the state level, they have about 5 more weeks before they adjourn. And so we'll learn more in the next 5 weeks before the end of the school year on what may be available to us. Yep.
Okay, very good, thank you. And I believe we have one more meeting, Nicole?
Yeah, Julie, myself, and Superintendent Brown met with some high school students and we met in 2 different groups, and we had great discussions. We talked about fast time, we talked about flexible learning time, about Cardinal Connections, what they felt the purpose of Cardinal Connections was, and if they felt like that purpose was being met. We talked about Cardinal Academy. We talked about clubs they might like to see, or student-led organizations they might like to see developed. We might have to talk more, Julie. We just had some wonderful discussions.
It's just amazing with these kids when you get together. I mean, you know, they're shy at first and that, but after a bit they warm up, and it's amazing some of the things that they really think about. And, you know, they just, you know, and it's from a view that we don't see as adults, and it's just very refreshing. I can't say any more than that, but it's just, I really enjoy the meals when we do meet with the kids at that. And you get a selected group, and, you know, this group was, well, we had band and orchestra was gone. And so we did get not as many that had originally planned on being there because of a snow day, a conference,
Competition.
The competition, and so they had to make that up, so a bunch of them were gone. So we did get a group that came in, and they were watching the clock, but they were very good about giving us, some really good guidance in that. And then the second group came in, and like I said, it was very, very refreshing to listen to them. And like I said, they're just very, very good to work with, and what we can do to help make their educational careers more meaningful is wonderful, so.
Yeah, it does take some time to get them warmed up. And the important message for the students and the community is that, we as a board do our best to try to create an optimal learning environment. The only way we know if we're effective is talking to our consumers, our customers, the students. And so it's critical that, that we have those opportunities to speak with them, to hear hear their ideas, and to try to act on those ideas.
Well, I think the first years we did it, they're always reluctant at first, but I think the more that we go and that, they really, really open up and are just very helpful to us to help make those decisions that are so important for them.
I agree. Okay, so I think that's the end of the agenda.
All right,
I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're done.
Thank you, Board. Judy, do you have things for us to sign?